From humble beginnings at the GP karting circuit in Langata, Nairobi, to the fast racing in the British Formula 3 Championship in the United Kingdom with Ditman Racing, this is Jeremy Wahome's story. As we sit down with the first and only Kenyan to feature in the championship, he reflects on how his journey in single-seater racing began.
I started go-karting for fun when I was around 6 or 7. Every time I'd come to Carnival for lunch, I'd beg my parents to come and try out the karts here. And then when I was 8, my dad bought me a 60cc go-kart, which is a competitive racing go-kart. And then from then on, I joined the National Karting Championship. And then since then, I've been racing competitively.
A pioneer in Kenya, one wonders where his attraction to such a rare sport began.
Began seeing bikes passing everywhere and was very keen on wanting to ride. But when I thought about the journey on motocross, it's a good sport, but the likelihood of getting injured and breaking your bones is more higher than the cars.
With passion and hard work in tow, success was sure to follow.
In 2015, when I raced in the Formula BMW Asia Cup Series, and I managed to get 2 second-place finishes and a third-place finish. So I got to stand on the Formula 1 podium where the likes of Hamilton have stood before, and I also won the Rookie Award 3 times.
At just 19 years old, Wahome manages a delicate and difficult balancing act between pursuing his racing goals and his education.
I have to plan my day and say I have to devote this much time to studying and this much time to racing, and whatever time's left, then that's what you're going to have to use to sleep or something. So it's just about maybe sacrificing going to the movies with friends or like watching TV, and then prioritize catching up with your school. Because sometimes if I miss school for racing, I have to sacrifice my leisure time to catch up on school.
Formula racing is not cheap. The cost of the road to Formula 1 racing is estimated at 800 million Kenya shillings. How have they handled the financing thus far?
The investment part is driven by the fact that there's a conviction around what it represents. It's not just a sport for us, it's actually a platform to influence and impact lives and destinies. And that's why the investment, though astronomical as it looks, is worth the while because of the impact and the result and influence around what you're doing.
His love for the sport is evident by how fondly he speaks of it.
The adrenaline kick, getting the chance to, the sound of the engine, just being alone in your helmet, in your own space, and just going as fast as you can. I'm quite a competitive person, so I love the challenge of competing against myself, against others, and just the thrill of the speed.
Where do you draw your inspiration from? Who in racing is your role model?
Look up to Lewis Hamilton ever since actually I was here and everyone was watching. I think 2008 when he won the championship. I've always followed him and watched his progress and watched him winning championships. So I always look up to him, and he's a really good racer and he's aggressive, he's quick in qualifying. So most people call him a complete racing driver.
His ultimate goal is to one day join in the ranks of his biggest inspiration, the 2018 world champion Lewis Hamilton, who also raced in the British Formula 3 Championship.
My dream would be to get to Formula 1 and to not just to get there, but to be a Formula 1 world champion. I think there's been a South African, but apart from that, there hasn't been anyone else. And to be the first Kenyan Formula 1 driver and champion would be quite an amazing feeling.
Wahome ended 2018 on a high, finishing 12th overall in the 2018 Asian Formula 3 Championship. His future is bright. What next? The European Formula 3, followed by the European Formula 2, then finally Formula 1 as the first Kenyan racer. Mukami Wambora for Citizen Sports.